This is the Apple AirPods Pro. Taking a look at the box, you see the Apple AirPods Pro at the top, then some boring information at the bottom. You got the Apple logo on either side, and at the top it says AirPods Pro with the wireless charging case, which is actually really good because you had to pay more for the wireless charging case with the Gen 2. Now you can see I paid 399 Australian dollars. Now if you convert this to American dollars, it's actually more expensive for us Australians to buy them, but you know, what can you do? Lifting the lid, you can see that it says designed in Apple, California. Now this pamphlet just has some information about the different size ear tips and how to put them in the case. But I'm not going to really read them, so I'm just going to put them to the side. Then you're presented with the AirPods at the top, covered in a bit of plastic. But I'm just going to leave that to the side and look what's inside the box. Now there's a little tab here which you pull up, and that actually holds the small and large tips for the AirPods that you can change. Now right now, as of this video, I'm using the two small ones, but I think I might go for a small on my left ear and a medium on my right. I know that sounds really weird, but the seal feels better that way. In the box you also get a lightning to USB Type-C, which sadly I actually can't use because I don't have a brick with a USB Type-C, so I'll actually be using my old iPhone 11 brick. Unpackaging the AirPods, you see that's a really white glossy case, which is a scratch magnet for sure. The hinge is actually matte, so that won't be getting scratched like my Gen AirPods are. And the connector's lightning, which just makes sense since all the new iPhones right now have lightning as well. Flipping over the cover, you see the AirPods, and that line is actually one of the grills and a sensor. Now taking them out is actually a lot difficult than I thought. It's harder than my original AirPods. I saw a person having the same issue, and they actually suggested to pull towards you, and here you can see it's a lot easier actually to get them out that way. Now comparing the size, obviously the AirPods Pro are a tiny bit longer, but I don't think it will make too big of a difference. I did notice that over time my original AirPods are really scratched up, so I'll definitely be getting a case for these new AirPods. Now taking these original AirPods out, like, it was a breeze, but definitely with these Pro versions it's a bit of a struggle, so I will have to be pulling them towards me. And that's just how it connects and charges. So here's a comparison of the different sizing. Now the bulb, if that's what you want to call it, is actually bigger on the Pro version. Now because the sponge goes inside your ear, that's not what's taking up all the space in your ear, so the bulb is actually a bit further out, and that's great because with the original AirPods my ears would always hurt after a few hours of usage, so I've been using these Pro versions and it really helps. Now taking these tips out, you can see that it's really difficult, a lot harder than I thought. I don't know if it's just because I have sweaty fingers or something, but it's a lot easier to click in. I'm going to try actually the different sizings just to see what really fits in my ears properly. Now just putting on the small one, and it clicks straight in, not too much of a problem. And that's how it looks like with the small ones. Comparing the medium ones, it doesn't look like there's big of a difference, but when you actually have it in your ear, the small ones go in further for me. Now I'm just going to switch back to medium and put the small one away. Now here you can see that because these are new, I still am not used to putting them in, so it does take me a few tries. Connecting them is just as easy as the original AirPods. Flip open the case, click connect, and you're good to go. Now here's a bit different where it actually goes through a process, so it says the noise cancellation, how that works. It also shows from the control center how you can switch between transparency mode, off, so you don't have any of that, and then noise cancellation mode, and also announce messages via Siri. Now I'm just going to connect to the AirPods. Now I just opened up settings and I'm going to do the ear fit test. This uses the microphone inside and outside of your ear to test whether the seal is right or not. Now it says it's a good seal, so I'll be leaving that for the rest of this video, but as I said, I'm actually switching to the small one. Now this is really important if you want to get that really good noise cancellation and hear the music better. Now with the new iOS 13.2 update, you can share the audio via your AirPods Pro and other AirPods, which is great when you have friends wanting to listen to the same music as you. Now here, because the AirPods have that seal, you don't have to have the music so loud compared to the OG AirPods, which is actually great for hearing health. So I'm just comparing both of them. So I put both AirPod Pros in my ears and just listening to the music. I can definitely tell that there's a bit more bass and it's a bit more surround, if that really makes sense. Where the original AirPods, it's actually a bit more quiet, or at least I can hear the environment more, so I just have to turn up the music a bit louder. The AirPod Pros do sound very similar to the AirPods, like it's not that big of a difference, but it definitely helps having that seal. Now I just put Coffee Bean by Travis Scott. If you listen to that music, the intro and everything has great bass and all that, so I'm just testing that out. I have my AirPod Pro in one ear and the original AirPod in the other ear, just seeing if I can tell a difference or not. It does sound bassier than the original AirPods, but I'm not sure if that's because of the seal or it's because of the new driver. Now put in the original AirPods, it was a big difference without having that seal. Like I said, you definitely hear around you a lot more. I have to turn up the volume just to compensate, which is not great for your hearing. The way I would describe the music, as it's more as you're listening to it, where the AirPods Pro, it does sound a bit further away from inside your ear. Now I'm just switching back and forth to really tell if there's a massive difference. Just from this really short time of listening, I definitely feel like the AirPods Pro do sound a bit better. Okay, so right now I'm using the audio from the AirPods. Now I'm going on a walk, testing out the noise cancellation. There's cars all over the road. This is also testing the microphone of the AirPods. Now what I really like about these new AirPods is that you physically force click the stem and that will switch the song. It will pause, play the song, and if you hold it, it will actually go from transparency mode to noise cancellation mode, back to transparency mode. And if you do 3 clicks, they'll take you back the previous song that you just played. Now, testing it out, the noise cancellation, and you can definitely hear the cars, you can hear what people are saying, but it is a lot muted. It's not as good as they advertise where it will get rid of all the noise, but it definitely eliminates a lot of it, probably 90% of it, 85-90%. Like when I'm walking on the grass, I can still hear my shoes graze the grass. And also one thing to note is that if you are jogging or running or doing something higher, fast paced, where you get your heartbeat up, you'll definitely, well, I experience the throbbing noise that I can hear, only for some reason in this ear, but I can still hear the throbbing. Let's get back to the video. Now that's my review for the new Apple AirPods Pro, but I don't think that it's worth the extra money if you've recently bought the old AirPods. But if you had the AirPods for 2 years now, I definitely feel like it's a worthy upgrade, especially with the new ear tips, noise cancellation, and the wireless charging case, which is just so much more convenient. I also want to point out a small difference between the AirPods, that the click from when you close it is a bit different from each AirPod. I actually prefer the original AirPods click over the new Apple AirPods Pro. The AirPods Pro actually sound a bit more cheap. The hinge is still squeaking a little bit. Not as much as the original AirPods, but I do definitely like that really satisfying click from the original AirPods. Now that's my final thoughts on the new Apple AirPods Pro. It's totally up to you if you want to pay for them. I definitely suggest maybe looking for other options like the new Sony 1000 series or even the Beats Solo Pro, which I don't have in hand. But this is my review and experience in comparison with the new Apple AirPods. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.